Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and now here I am with another retro wrestling review. Because I figured, with No Mercy being this Sunday, I figured it'd be a good time for me to actually, review a retro No Mercy pay-per-view. And so, I decided to review No Mercy 2000. So, yeah. I think that this is a pretty good show overall, yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. I wouldn't quite say it is, really great. I mean, the last two matches on the show really are great, and yeah, they really do make the show as good as it is. The rest of the show overall, though, it's kind of average, really. I mean, you do have some good stuff on the show, but at the same time, you also have some stuff on the show that really is not very good. I mean, yeah, I mean, the opener really was not really good. It was just really rushed and not really well put together. And they're in, yeah, you kind of have some funny stuff in here, with the tag team match and stuff. And yeah, it seems well, yeah, the tag title match was funny, yeah. But yeah, there's some things on the show that I feel are just kind of filler, really. But I mean, yeah, overall, I would say that this is a pretty good show. Yeah, this is probably one of the better pay-per-views 2000. 2000 was really mixed for the WWF as far as pay-per-views go. I mean, yeah, there were some pay-per-views in 2000 that really were not very good. Like WrestleMania that year really wasn't that good. King of the Ring really wasn't very good either. And yeah, neither was Armageddon really. But at the same time, there were some good shows in 2000. The Royal Rumble that year was great, and so was SummerSlam that year. I mean, SummerSlam of course was a great show. And yeah, I'd say that this pay-per-view, this is a pretty good pay-per-view also. So yeah, and yeah, Survivor Series in 2000 was also a really good show as well. So yeah, kind of like a mixed year as far as pay-per-views go. Oh, but yeah, this is definitely one of the shining stars of pay-per-views in 2000. I mean, this is definitely a pretty good show overall. Alright, so now let me just talk about the show. Alright, so the show kicked off with a Dudley's Invitational Tag Team Tables Elimination match. Yeah, it was basically 5 teams in this match. It was basically a Tag Team Turmoil Tables match style. Yeah, it just was yeah, 2 teams started off, and then once one member of a team goes through a table, that team is then eliminated, and then the next team comes out. Yeah, yeah, like I said, basically just a Tag Team Turmoil style. It was the Dudley Boys, Taz and Raven, Too Cool, Lowdown, and Bull Buchanan and Goodfather from Right to Censor. And yeah, this really wasn't very good. I mean, this was just really not very well executed and stuff. I mean, yeah, it just really didn't come off that well, and yeah, it was just really rushed and not a very good match, to be honest. I mean, you know, the action in this match really was pretty slow, and yeah, it was just basically what I said. Yeah, teams putting one member of the other team through a table, and then yeah, yeah, and yeah, in the end, just the Dudley Boys ended up winning this match. Yeah, but yeah, there was a bit of a twist on this because the final match in this, oh, yeah, the final tag match in this matchup was that it was between the Dudley Boys and Bull Buchanan and the Goodfather, and Bubba actually did put Bull Buchanan through a table, but then the Goodfather then attacked Bubba, and Bubba fell right in between the 2 broken spots at the table, and then the Goodfather moved Bull Buchanan out of the way, and then yeah, the referee was unconscious during that time. When the referee came back around, he saw Bubba was like in that position, and then called for the bell and thought that well, became a good father won. But then another referee came down and explained like what happened, and then yeah, the match then just continued, and the Dudley Boyz eventually got the win again by giving the Good Father a 3D through a table. So yeah, the Dudley Boyz get the win, but yeah, really was not very good, and yeah, the teams just really weren't very good teams for this match, and yeah, just not a very good match. I give it like, I don't know, a star and a quarter. Not very good. And then the next match set was supposed to be a 6-person intergender tag match with Test and Halbert and Trish Stratus against the APA and Lita. But like before this match had started, like as the Lita came down to the ring, like the APA ended up like getting taken out backstage by Test and Albert. And then, yeah, Test, Albert, and Tristan all just came out to the ring and were starting to assault Lita. But then, yeah, the Hardy Boys, of course, then came out to Lita's rescue and stuff. So, yeah, we didn't end up getting that match since, like, the AP got taken out. And, yeah, after this, like, this was when, like, the, like, Farouk and Bradshaw, like, were kind of, like, out of action for a little while. And then, like, Test and Albert then like formed their own APA stuff. I mean, you remember they were like wearing ththose T-shirts, TNAPA. Yeah, so yeah, that just then ended up happening. So yeah, and then the next actual match on the show was a steel cage match with X-Pac versus Chris Jericho, and yeah, this was like a really good match right here. Yeah, I mean, it was like pretty short. I mean, it was only about 11 minutes, but yeah, for 11 minutes, this was actually like a real entertaining match. I mean, I felt like, despite the fact that X-Pac really wasn't going anywhere during this time, and yeah, he was really starting to fall flat, I mean, he still did, like, have, like, pretty good chemistry with the people during this time. Yeah, I mean, there was, like, a lot of, like, good spots in the match, especially, like, whenever they would, like, try to climb out of the cage, they would all, like, do something, like, at one point, like X-Pac was like trying to climb out of the cage and stuff, but then like Chris Jericho then just hit a big super bomb on X-Pac from the top turnbuckle down to the canvas. Yeah. And yeah, they were like trying to climb out of the cage a bunch in this match. Eventually, at one point, as X-Pac was like trying to climb out of the cage again, Chris Jericho then like climbed up to catch him, and then Chris Jericho actually gave X-Pac a waltz of Jericho from the top of the cage. But yeah, X-Pac eventually like fought off and then just threw Jericho back down to the canvas. And then yeah, X-Pac tried to climb out from the top of the cage again, but then like Chris Jericho ended up just like drop kicking X-Pac, and then X-Pac just fell like with the door just hitting X-Pac right in the nuts. And then, yeah, Chris Jericho then was able to just crawl through the door and escape the cage. And yeah, Chris Jericho ended up winning the match. So yeah, this was like a really, really good match right here. Yeah, definitely like probably the best match of the undercard on the show. I would give this probably 3 3/4. Then next up, we had like Val Venis and Steven Richards from Right to Censor versus like Billy Gunn and Chyna. And I felt that this really was just kind of like filler stuff on the show. I mean, yeah, not really anything happened in this match, to be honest. I really don't remember really what even happened in this match. It was only about like 7 minutes. It was just basically like just back and forth between the two teams. Eventually, once Billy Gunn and Chyna like got the upper hand, then Bull Buchanan and Goodfather like came out and were like starting to like brawl with Billy Gunn on the outside of the ring, and then Eddie Guerrero then like came out. Yeah, this is when like Eddie Guerrero and Chyna had that feud going on. And then Eddie Guerrero like hit Chyna in the back of the head with a bouquet of flowers, which was then like later revealed there was like a lead pipe in the flowers also. And yeah, Chyna then got knocked out, and then yeah, Val Venis ended up pinning Chyna, and then Val Venis and Steven Richards won the match, yeah. And then I think by winning this match, that then like forced Billy Gunn to then like drop the Mr. Ass gimmick and then stuff. So yeah, this then like just led to Billy Gunn transitioning into the One. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, this really was like just kind of filler. I mean, it was just kind of there, to be honest. I give this like, I don't know, 2 stars. And then next up, there was supposed to be the no holds barred match between Rikishi and Stone Cold. Yeah, this was just like the pay-per-view right after when Rikishi revealed that he was the one that ran over Stone Cold at Survivor Series the year before. And yeah, so of course like Stone Cold really was out for revenge for Rikishi running him over. And yeah, of course like Rikishi being the one running over Stone Cold, I mean, that really wasn't well received. And so, yeah, that's really why, because of the negative reaction that it had, it ended up, like, being changed up where, like, Rikishi was, like, made off by Triple H to do it and stuff, so then this later was changed into Stone Cold versus Triple H. But, yeah, so there was, like, this match made between Rikishi and Stone Cold here, and a no-holds-barred match. And like throughout this night, Rikishi was like waiting for Stone Cold to show up, and yeah, Stone Cold just was nowhere to be found. And then yeah, Mick Foley then was just telling Rikishi that if Stone Cold didn't show up, then like Rikishi would just basically be the winner by a forfeit. And then yeah, once like Rikishi came out, like Stone Cold still was nowhere to be found. And then yeah, Mick Foley then was gonna come out to declare Rikishi the winner, but then Stone Cold then just drove in on his truck. And yeah, Rikishi and Stone Cold were just like fighting and brawling this whole time. I don't know if this match actually did officially start, or yeah, because yeah, this whole thing really was just Stone Cold and Rikishi just like fighting and brawling with each other with a bunch of weapon use. There really was not any like wrestling, and there was no pin attempts or anything. It was just like fighting throughout this whole thing. Like they were just like really brawling everywhere. They were like in the crowd and using a bunch of weapons like chairs and stuff. Yeah, at one point Stone Cold actually used a rope and was like choking out Rikishi with it. Yeah. And yeah, then Stone Cold then was just like giving several chair shots to Rikishi in the head. And yeah, Rikishi then just ended up like bleeding from his head a lot. And then yeah, Stone Cold then just used like the tailgate on his truck and slammed it down on Rikishi. And eventually Stone Cold then just nailed Rikishi in the back of his truck. And then, yeah, Stone Cold then just ended up, like, driving out of the building. And then he, like, was about to, like just gonna try to run Rikishi down in the town outside. But then, as, like, Stone Cold was just, like, speeding at Rikishi, then, like, a police car then just, like, drove in the way. And then Stone Cold rammed the police car. And then, yeah, a swarm of police. These cars then just interceded, and then just ended up arresting Stone Cold. So, yeah, this was like, I guess this was like, just to like advance the story of like Stone Cold wanting revenge for Rikishi running him down, and like I said, because of the negative reaction we got, it would later be like changed to Triple H being the one behind it. And so, yeah, I'm really not going to rate this thing because I don't think this really is should be rated, because I mean I really don't consider this to really be an actual match. This was really more just like a brawl and a fight, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not gonna rate this thing, but yeah, this was like a decent brawl. Yeah. And then next up, had the European title on the line, William Regal defending against Naked Mideon. Oh my gosh, this was just horrible, really. I mean, what was with this Naked Mideon gimmick? I mean, I remember like Mideon before, like he was like part of like the Ministry of Darkness with Undertaker. So I mean, they gave him like a pretty dark gimmick with that. But then they just give him like this gross naked gimmick. I mean, you know, during this match, like Mideon was like stripping down, and it was just like really gross seeing. So yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. I mean, yeah, this sucked. This was horrible, and yeah, I just really don't want to talk about this match at all. I'm just gonna cut to the end here. William Regal ended up getting the win. So yeah, whatever. This match was terrible. Making Mideon just disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, dud. Horrible and gross. And then next up we had the tag team championships on the line. The Hardy Boyz defending against Los Conquistadores. Conquistadores, is that how it's said? Yeah, and really, like, this was basically just, like, a thing with that Edge and Christian were behind, because Edge and Christian, like, lost a match to a point where they couldn't challenge the Hardy Boyz for the tag team titles anymore. So yeah, this was just, like, an angle, like, this was, like, eventually, like, something Edge and Christian were, like, behind, and, yeah, this was just, like, a tongue-in-cheek thing, and, yeah, this was just, like, a thing Edge and Christian were behind so they could get the tag titles back. So yeah, that's what the Los Conquistadores thing is for. All about here. And yeah, this was this was, I guess, a good match. That's right here. I mean, nothing too memorable happened. It was basically just like back and forth between the two teams, and yeah, it was like eventually like shown that Los Conquistadors were Edge and Christian, because yeah, they started to use like Edge and Christian's moves, like the Unprettier and stuff. Yeah, so and yeah, the Hardy Boyz were actually trying to unmask Los Conquistadors in this match multiple times. And yeah, eventually they did unmask one, but eventually they had another mask underneath and stuff. Yeah, and then and yeah, and yeah, it was just like back and forth action. Eventually, like then like one of those conquistadors, which were like Edge and Christian, as I said, gave like Matt Hardy an Unprettier, and then yeah, they got the win. And Los Conquistadors, or Edge and Christian, got the tag titles. So yeah, good match with like a fun gimmick and stuff. I give it like 3 stars. And then next up we had Triple H versus Chris Benoit, and oh gosh, this was a great match right here. Gosh, this was just such a great match right here. I mean, this was just like a classic. Really, like, nobody really talks about this match, but yeah, this was really like a great match right here. This really was just like an intense technical match right here. I mean, this was just like great watching. A great back and forth match. And right here, like, Triple H was like attacking Benoit's injured knee. And Benoit was also targeting Triple H's injured arm. And yeah, at one point Chris Benoit actually performed a diving headbutt on Triple H's arm. Sorry. And then, yeah, and Chris Benoit, like, was going for a bunch of crossfaces on this match to target Triple H's arm and shoulder and stuff. And yeah, it was just like a great back and forth match with Benoit working on Triple H's arm and Triple H targeting Benoit's knee. Yeah. And yeah, just a really, really great back and forth match. And yeah, eventually then Stephanie then just ran out, and then she like distracted Chris Benoit and slapped him, and as Stephanie was like distracting the referee, Triple H then just hit Chris Benoit with a low blow and gave Chris Benoit a pedigree and pinned him, and Triple H got the win. So yeah, this was like a really great back and forth match. I mean, if you haven't seen this before, you should really check this out. I mean, definitely watch this match. This is a great match right here. I give this 4.5 stars. Just great stuff. And then we got the main event for the WWF Championship, The Rock defending against Kurt Angle. And before I talk about this match, I gotta talk about, like, the fake interview Kurt Angle had with The Rock on Sunday Night Heat this night. This was just, if you guys haven't seen this interview before, you gotta check it out. I'm gonna put a link to this interview in the description. Like, this interview is, like, really hilarious and stuff. You gotta watch this. I mean, this just shows, like, how hilarious Kurt Angle really was during this time. I mean, yeah, this interview is just freaking hilarious. Watch it. And yeah, this match, like, just, like, as they were coming out, this match was announced as a no disqualification match. So yeah, this was a no disqualification match for the WWF Championship. And yeah, this really was, like, a great match right here. I mean, yeah, this was just a really great back and forth match between Rock and Kurt Angle. I mean, yeah, The Rock really did have really great chemistry with a lot of the guys he competed against during this time. I mean, there was, like, Triple H, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit. Yeah, I mean, The Rock just had great chemistry with a lot of guys during this time. And, yeah, this was a really great match. I mean, there was, like, so weapon use in this match and stuff. But my only complaint about that is this was a no disqualification match, as I said. But at a couple of points in this match, like Stephanie, who was, like, at ringside with Kurt Angle, she was, like, getting up, trying to get involved, and the referee was, like, trying to prevent her from getting out. Like, why? This is a no disqualification match. I mean, she can get involved. I mean, it's legal. Yeah, because, yeah, at one point, The Rock, like, had a sharpshooter on Kurt Angle, and Stephanie, like, tried to, like, cut up on the ring apron, and the referee was, like, trying to get her to get off, and Kurt Angle was tapping, and so, I mean, why was the referee, like, with Stephanie trying to get her out? I mean, she could have come in and stopped it and stuff, and at another point in this match, like, Stephanie, like, put the WWF title in the ring for Kurt Angle to use, and, like, she was, like, trying to get in again, and the referee was trying to get her out again, so the referee couldn't see Kurt Angle hitting The Rock with the title. Like, why are you doing that? This is no disqualification. There's no reason to distract the referee for this. So yeah, that's one of my gripes with this match, just why is she, like, trying to distract the referee so he doesn't see that stuff, and why is the referee even bothering when this is no disqualification? Alright, but anyway, yeah, this was a really great back and forth match. I mean, yeah, there was, like, a lot of weapon use in this match and stuff. Yeah, one point, Kurt Angle was, like, bleeding from his eye at one point, and Kurt Angle tried to go for, like, a moonsault on The Rock, but The Rock moved out of the way. And then at one point, like, The Rock, like, hit Kurt Angle with a spine buster. And then, yeah, The Rock was going to go for the people's elbow on Kurt Angle, but then Stephanie then just came into the ring, and she was just, like, talking trash to The Rock, and then she was going to slap The Rock, but then The Rock ducked, and then The Rock gave a rock bottom to Stephanie, and then The Rock was going to go for a people's elbow on Stephanie also, but Kurt Angle saved Stephanie from the people's elbow. But then, yeah, Triple H then just ran out and attacked both Kurt Angle and The Rock, and just carried Stephanie to the back. And then, yeah, The Rock and Kurt Angle continued to brawl, and then, like, a little later on, Rikishi then, like, came out, and yeah, you may remember, like, during this time, like, early on when Rikishi revealed that he was the one who ran over Stone Cold, Rikishi was, like, saying that The Rock was his accomplice for it and stuff, and so, yeah, Rikishi, like, was coming out here to help The Rock, to try to, like, advance that and try to, convince that he was, like, with The Rock on, and, like, running over Stone Cold and stuff. And of course, like, The Rock wasn't, yeah. And yeah, Rikishi was just, like, attacking Kurt Angle, was trying to help The Rock here. And then at one point, like, as Kurt Angle was, like, in one of the corners of the ring, Rikishi was gonna do what he usually does and charge at the person in the corner, but yeah, Rikishi, like, ended up, like, Kurt Angle, like, pulled The Rock in front of him, and so Rikishi ended up nailing both The Rock and Kurt Angle. And then Rikishi tried to kick Kurt Angle, but yeah, Kurt Angle moved and Rikishi kicked Rock instead. Yeah. And then Kurt Angle then just hit the Angle Slam on Rikishi, and then the Angle Slam on The Rock, and then Kurt Angle pinned The Rock, and yeah, Kurt Angle won, and Kurt Angle became WWF Champion, and yeah, just one of first year for Kurt Angle in the WWF. the European title, the Intercontinental title, King of the Ring, and then winning the WWF title. What a rookie year Kurt Angle had in the WWF. And yeah. And then, yeah, because, like I said earlier, as it was then later revealed then that Triple H was the one who put Rikishi up to running over Stone Cold, then that led to Stone Cold feuding with Triple H about him getting run over, and then, yeah. I guess then with, the stuff with Rikishi costing The Rock the title, this would also, lead into, Rikishi then also feuding with The Rock. So, yeah, there was that. But, yeah, this was a great match. I wouldn't quite say it was as great as the match they had at No Way Out 2001 a few months later. But this was still a great match nonetheless. I give this 4 stars. So, yeah, overall, the show I give it about a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, 2 really great. The last 2 matches really were great. And, yeah, the rest of the show was kind of mixed. I mean, Chris Jericho versus X-Pac was really good. And, yeah, the tag title match was enjoyable. Everything else, just really not good. And, yeah, the brawl between Rikishi and Stone Cold, I guess, was a decent brawl. So, yeah, I guess, show was kind of filled mixed, but, yeah, it's definitely, a lot of good on the show, too. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend the show if you haven't watched it before. Alright, so, yeah, that does for my review of No Mercy 2000. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, so, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.